Our animals are better cared for than many people.
We have a lot of people who love these animals, and it doesn't matter what time of day it is, it doesn't matter what's going on, they are our priority 100% of the time.
Anything that we need or that we think that the animals need, the veterinarians are there.
We have a full-time veterinary staff, and if ever anything looks the slightest bit off with these animals, I can pick up a phone and call them, and they can be there within minutes.
I've been privy to big, major medical procedures on 3,000-pound walruses, but I've also sat with a veterinarian with a butterfly fish and literally not only x-rayed it to find out what was going wrong, but then used a very small feeding tube to give it some food because it was having a problem digesting. And that's the commitment we're going to make. That's why we're all here. And the park realizes that there's the same value to the 3-ounce butterfly fish as to the 3,000-pound walrus.
What we can learn from our animals in the park applies to the animals out in the natural environment.
We have a lot of people from our professional community who approach us with questions, hey, have you ever seen this before? Because chances are we have, simply because we have so many animals that we take care of.
We have a more aggressive preventive medicine program than what you or I might be used to with ourselves or even with our family pets at home.
We make sure we take a holistic approach at the care for the animals. And a big part of it is preventative and proactive care.
Vets are right there to say, let's do an assessment. Do we need to take a blood sample? Do we need to take an x-ray? Do we need to just do a physical exam?
People don't realize that when you work with animals, you have to be able to figure out what's going on with a patient that really can't tell you what doesn't feel well.
If there's something just slightly off, you're aware of it. And depending on your interpretation of that behavior, you may call the vets in to say, hey, I think something might be a little off here. Can we take a blood sample?
And we can be proactive in that way. And so we can catch illnesses and injuries way before they get to the point of endangering the animal.
Husbandry behaviors with animals are crucial. They're some of the most important behaviors we train. And at SeaWorld, it's a collaborative effort.
It's the science of training animals to cooperate with us so that we can give them great care.
And without the staff there to help teach the animals how to do that, the vets really couldn't do their job as well. So we are a very close-knit team and we work together closely.
We do this through the application of positive reinforcement. So the animals are making a conscious decision to perform a behavior that allows us to take better care of them.
And our animals are conditioned to give us every kind of sample and remain still for any kind of test really that you could come up with.
We do things from the day-to-day, such as cleaning their teeth.
We can ask a beluga whale to come over, take a needle, stick it in its tail fluke, withdraw a blood sample.
We basically are limited only by what the veterinarians want. When the veterinarians say, we'd like to condition this, we'd like to have that, we train it.
It's awesome because it's one of the most rewarding behaviors for me. Whether it's having a dolphin slide up on a scale or having a llama go into a chute for a hoof inspection, it's one of those things that the animals are participating in their own care, which is really, really cool. People come here to be inspired and entertained, and the rides, of course, tie into that. I think it's the balance of everything that makes it work so well.
Those interactions that we have with our guests, and you can see the looks in those kids' faces when at the end of the day, at the end of a show, end of an interaction, and the joy that you see in their faces is something that can't be compared to any other job, I don't think.
We see the inspiration all the time, and it goes on all throughout our park, whether you're working with the sharks and the stingrays, the flamingos, or the killer whales. People have that level of inspiration, and it's great to see those questions and that kind of wonder building within them.
I know that when I leave for the end of the day, there are multiple kids that are going to have a new appreciation for these animals, and that's really what it's all about.
Not only do I want you to be excited about seeing the animal, but I want you to know that animal and appreciate it, and eventually it may even wind up saving that animal.
I work at Blue Horizons now, and it's an awesome show. People are crying. Just the uniqueness of what we do there, it draws people's emotions you know, those connective emotions.
They'll have an appreciation for the environment, the animal, and where it lives, not only here at SeaWorld, but outside of SeaWorld, where we find it in the wild.
I think they come here and they're affected through the entertainment aspects that we do, and that drives them to then go out through their lives and seek out other information and other ways to impact the world.
They will tell me, you would not know what you did for my child when they went and watched the Shamu show or the dolphin show. They talked about Shamu or the dolphin show or the sea lion show for weeks after that. We read books. We went and found out about sea lions. We found out about dolphins.
One show or one interaction can have impact on one family or one child, and they go home and they tell their friends and their coworkers and their classmates about animals and about how we can make a difference. I think that is just the best day ever.
The connection with SeaWorld started when I was 4 years old. It was the first time I came to Shamu Stadium and I saw a killer whale show, and I told my dad, I have to do this.
I was 5 years old and I came here with my family and saw the Shamu show, and I said, that's it, at 5.
And for me, that was absolutely what happened. It was trips here at SeaWorld that inspired me to want to work with marine animals.
When I came to SeaWorld, I was forever changed, and I wanted to be a part of changing people like I had been changed. And that's why I do what I do.
I think of one particular camper that was part of our camp program, and now she is off doing manatee research in Florida, and she's on her way to her PhD.
My first introduction to SeaWorld was a visit just with my family, very young kid. That is what really encouraged me to want to get involved with the animals.
I've always been interested in animals, but the foundation I got here at SeaWorld really put me on a path towards marine science that I don't know that I necessarily would have hit otherwise. After college, I'm probably going to pursue a degree in either biological oceanography or in marine biology, so a pretty big impact overall.
I currently have a mentor student that came in not really knowing what a coral was. She wasn't really that familiar with it. She's just enjoyed it so much doing her weekly research that I think she's really been inspired to want to conserve coral reefs and maybe even steer her career in that direction.
Our camp program started 15 years ago. Imagine kids back in high school 15 years ago have already gone on to college, finished college, and now they're in their career or are seeking out their career. And this is, for a lot of them, this is their career. And I'm so pleased to see these kids come back. It's kind of a full circle feeling for us, and it's great.
These animals impact the people that come to see them. They change them, they move them, they make them stop and think, they make them laugh, they make them cry.
We're here to educate people about the animals. If they walk away from here and they've had that amazing vacation moment where they've been able to interact with the animals or learn something about the animals that they can share with their families and make that lifelong memory, to me that's what it's about.
These animals, they are ambassadors. They are ambassadors not just for their species, but they're ambassadors for the aquatic world. They're ambassadors for the ocean. They're saying, take stock. Stop and take a second and look at the environment I live in and make a difference. Make a difference for me and my family and my species. Make a difference for all these other animals.
I think about how many people we affect on a daily basis. Each show, I mean, we hold 6,000 people per show. So even if you affect one person per show, when we're doing 7 shows a day, that's 7 people a day that you can ultimately change their life. How amazing is that?